Well, if you see the green and gold, you see the gold and the yellow here, a lot of different colors, but we're not in Pittsburgh. We're in the Northeast. It's a developmental matchup here on the LI Sports. DC DV Gold and East Islip DV Black. 9-6-0 is the record for KPC coming in. 5-8-1 on the other side for East Islip, as both these teams look to get another win on their column as the season begins to wind down a little bit for ice hockey in the Northeast. Welcome to everyone watching around the world. I'm Spencer Thompson, proud to be with you virtually in the Northeast of the United States. And KPC 9-6-0. They come into the contest 5.5 goals per game, against on that same metric at 5.3. And what they've struggled with is being able to convert on the power play side. Only 10% on their power plays through the year, which is going to be a challenge as East Islip on the opposition, 25% on their power play conversions, and also 83.3% on the penalty kill. To look for if any opportunities present themselves for East Islip in terms of the power play, they'll likely capitalize on it 1 time out of 4. But for KPC, it's going to be really difficult for them to try and get something going here. As looks like we're going to get into the pre-contest festivities with the national anthem and all the usuals. So we'll listen in for that. stick taps for the Star Spangled Banner as we're about to get underway here in this developmental matchup. The gold and black jerseys set to collide here on the Ally Sports Network. Another edition of SCHSHL high school hockey. A lot of high school hockey playoffs going on around the Northeast region. A lot of our colleagues will be broadcasting those games. They'll all be live here on the Ally Sports Network throughout the next couple of days as we get closer to whittling down who will the champions be in respective high school conferences. Same can be said on the collegiate club hockey scene as well. A lot of conferences around the region as well as the country starting to wind down, getting closer to the final tournaments. And we're underway here for KPC and East Islip. Yeah, it starts out with this going back on the backside here of the goal, trying to set this up, head back into the neutral zone. In a record 5-8-1 for East Islip heading in. They led by 13 Connor Ivers at 22 goals. Owen Neidert on the other end at 17, so not as close, at least than 5 goals on that metric. We're going to have Jack Antico starting in goal for KPC. Luke Vigiata starting in goal for East Islip. A little more slower on the pace of game here as this gets shoveled across the board. As KPC in the dark jerseys, they try to get an offensive attack going here. See Goldberg in the area. Islip, they're wearing the lighter jerseys despite being named the developmental black team. They're on the wayside as that gets ladled across to the backside of the net, and it's picked back by KPC. Bounce along the boards in the neutral zone, back into the other end. That's Cusack, who was initially going to pursue it as it's still in the East Islip zone for a moment. Back out to the neutral ice. And this will be an opportunity on the other end, trying to shovel it forward. That is a goal. First goal of the night is going to be scored by KPC Gold. Jake Rocco getting possession there. You see the celebration with his teammates, almost stoic, not like he was really fazed by it. Looked like a very light shovel of the puck towards the net. And it gets us to 1-0 here. KPC Gold striking first. See how East Islip can respond, with puck mostly being in their section of the ice as this gets picked up by Walsh. Walsh. No offside, says the linesman / referee. Trying to get it past 2 defenders there. He's still got it in his possession somehow. Got it in front of the goal, but it's picked up by one of the players in the dark uniforms. Back out to the neutral zone, poked away at about the median red line as this goes back over into the section of KPC's offensive zone. And still fighting for it in the neutral zone. Icing waved off as this is pursued down by Connor Ivers. Connor Ivers passing off to a teammate. He's got the puck initially, but had a bit of struggle there with possession as it's sent in by Cusack. No one on the opposite side in a white jersey to try and pursue that puck. Somehow, good skate maneuvering there inside of the corner. Back up from the right circle. This is picked up, or it looked like it was, as this is heading all the way back down to East Islip's end of the sheet. Weaving in and out of the trapezoid there to get this all the way down to KPC's end of the rink. And still in possession, trying to set it up for an opportunity. Too many bodies in front there. Walton had a good shot. As this gets sent back, a dangerous play. Walton, he scores! Walton got stuck in traffic on the first attempt, couldn't get the shot off, and he's got a goal for East Islip to tie it up at about 11.5 in the first. Nico Walton initially fighting for it there, got Actually, a little bit. Connor Ivers with the shovel back, and lucky that it got hit off of one of the defenders. Perfect positioning as he fell down, and it's 1-all here in the Northeast. Trying to handle it there in the area was Pelk as this heads back out to the neutral zone. KPC trying to find some sort of response as Triple Veda shoveled it all the way down, and this will be called for an icing. Collision between the Knights and the Chiefs here in this developmental competition. The Knights of KPC, to clarify, and the Chiefs of East Islip. Both these teams looking to continue to build their positive momentum as things go along here. Tied 1-1. 10:50 left to go in the opening frame. Back out in neutral zone. Looked like Pelk maybe had a possession of it initially, but Shamaliker has got it with the shot. That goes high outside the post. Back out to the other end. East Islip trying to get this out of harm's way as that'll just have a hop, skip, and a jump to the other side of the net. Shoveling back here, picked up and cleared outside of the zone, as don't think this is going to be anything but an icing. And proven right for one of the few times in a broadcaster's career. Mentioned that there are high school playoff competitions going on right now. KPC for their varsity team. A lot of these players who have been a part of the KPC developmental scene. They play against Apowage in the semifinal later tonight. 7:50 local time. Those of you on the eastern seaboard. That's Smithtown Apowage in their competition around 8 p.m. Eastern. Semifinal in the high school postseason. A lot of great action for hockey as usual on the LI Sports Network. Almost just outside of the reach there of Ivers. Had he gotten possession of it, could have been a great breakaway on net as he gets another shot off. And trying to stand tall in the net is Antico, and he does with the help of his defensive line. Out in the neutral zone. Some of these players make it look very easy. You see a little bit of shoving there, back and forth. Nothing too egregious. One of the great things to see about hockey is we've got a stoppage here. Sometimes you have that shoving back and forth. Get them a little bit started early, as it's very normal at high school, college, and professional level. And just a whistle for a stoppage as both teams will get a chance to change their personnel and set it back the other way for a face-off. It is our first penalty of the game for the KPC Knights. Owen Neidert called for roughing on a 2-minute minor, so East Islip will go on their first power play of the competition. Mentioned how they are 25% on their power play conversions, and 15 seconds shaved off here of this power play. Hand a swipe around the middle there. Looked like fighting for it there was White. East Islip taking it back. Back around the circle, toss inside. Dangerous opportunity on the backside, and the shot goes wide from Patrick Penny. Goes wide from Penny. You have a whistle stoppage there. You see it was just a mishandling of the puck there by Charnicky. And Patrick Penny trying to find his way in on the shot, and looks like the officials ruled that out of play. Face-off here in favor of KPC. East Islip trying to capitalize on this power play opportunity, as this will just get shoveled out, but in the area there, Ivers sending it towards the net. That one may have gotten a deflection off. That may have been Physicality who got a piece of that puck there as we reach 60 seconds left on the man advantage. Going to weave around on the opportunity. Not much room for Walton to work with as it gets sliced away by Weissy. Back out Ivers looking for a hole in between. That goes high and wide outside the right post. And this one will head into the bench area with about 38 seconds left to go on the power play. The majority of this first frame, KPC Gold has kept the puck on the opposite side of the sheet. And for this power play, East Islip has tried to take advantage of it, and right on cue, KPC on a man disadvantage, trying to take it the other way and stall time. This is Jake Rocco. Jake Rocco gets the puck swiped away. Neutral zone, taking the puck himself at a long distance is Eli Irizarry, and a whistle stoppage there. I believe he was offside. That's exactly what they'll call. Only 10 seconds left for East Islip to try and capitalize here. But again, they're really good on their power play throughout the year, 25%. Compared to the other teams around the developmental scene, it's impressive to see that at this level. Final seconds winding down, back to even strength. 7.5 left in this first period, tied 1-1. As trying to shovel it forward was Irizarry as he lost the puck. Good bit of physicality there as Hayden Lee tries to send it forward. Manages to get it into the opposition's section. As Rocco and company trying to fight for it along the boards. Rocco try to take this around the back side of the net. Here, Ari breaking it up. Back in front, dangerous pass opportunity there. Seplovita breaking it up there. Let's go back out to the other side. Irizarry with the pass attempt. It's swiped away. Good defensive work there by Hayden Lee. This gloved down. Coach Daniel O'Donnell and assisted Chris Schinkel. And for East Islip, Thomas Ivers on the head coaching side, assisted by Brian Slatery and Joseph Penny. KPC Gold trying to go on the quick rush, wove around the defender. One man to beat it, goes off of the pads of Physicality. On the other end, Connor Ivers trying to get past the defender. A little bit of a tussle there. No penalty will be called, as this will get back in possession for the opposition of the night. Beg your pardon. That is back out to the blue line, poked around and kept outside into the neutral zone. In the area, Charlie Remsen trying to head it up there. Shoveled back along the blue line into the neutral zone and trying to get it around. Good stick break up there. And it's swept back up. Chance on the pass outside the blue line. East Islip has seemed to get the pressure back on to KPC in the last couple of minutes since that power play, as they've got the puck attempt. They're looking for a shot attempt, got it through the legs and score. Jack Iliano with goal number 2, and it's now 2-1 East Islip. Slip of the skates there, a wipeout as this gets not even necessarily passed through. I know they're going to give the assist there to his teammate. They're going to give it to Ivers there for East Islip. Even though it almost didn't look like a pass, he tried to, but had it broken up by a stick there. So leads it to a 2-1 advantage. East Islip, after going down 1-0, has scored 2 unanswered goals. How will KPC respond here as Darnecki got it on the neutral possession? This back out to James Penny. Penny trying to pass it around several defenders here as they do get it out to the neutral zone. This is shoveled out. Fortunately, no player in that penalty box. Usually you see protective glass around the penalty areas, but not here at this arena, just around the scorer keeper, as this gets possessed by Cusack. Cusack with the pass attempt that looks like it got a piece of Antico as it heads to the other side. Trying to shovel out of there is Shimaliker. This gets bounced off and swept up by Pelk. Pelk on the switch around to the neutral zone. Back out and will be sent back into the East Islip end of the rink. There's Walton and company in the area to clear the zone, at least attempt to, as wasn't cleaned up well there by James Penny as this gets sent on net, but will just be touched away by Vigigliata. Now back out into the neutral zone as this gets sent on a back pass. Dangerous opportunity there as it gets cleaned up. Cusack was in the area. Back out, a chance on net. This gets broken up with several players, and it looked like Antico also had a save there and a piece there as this goes Sepulveda trying to go for a shot as this is a saved puck there. Jake Antico tested as he shuts the play down. Several defenders in front and several offensive players trying to set up an opportunity there. Good standing tall there by Jack Antico. Back to action, 3:20 left to go here in period number 1. One of these players you'll get to see at the high school level if they continue on. We've seen some players who are starting to shine bright here in the developmental side of the SCHSHL. Sepulveda will get it in possession as he passes it back out to the neutral zone, and fortunate that didn't head the other way as Irizaria, I don't think he got a touch on the puck there, would have been icing. Here's a quick burst by Rocco. Rocco trying to weave around, he'll take a shot that goes outside. Back out along the right circle, swept up by Irizarry. Irizarry trying to do it himself. He's got it between several defenders. Eli Irizarry, he scores! What a breakaway by Eli Irizarry! Three straight unanswered goals for East Islip. And the Chiefs have got a 3-1 lead after Eli Irizarry was one-on-one with the shovel. KPC Gold, since their first goal of the game, has not been able to find an answer. They were keeping the pressure on early on the opposite end of the rink. They can't even keep the puck out of their offensive zone. Do they generate some chance here as they do get it out to the neutral zone, trying to fight for it alongside in the area there, Montefiore. Now another chance here, Connor Ivers. Ivers trying to get it around the goaltender. He scores! Connor Ivers makes it 4-1. And Ivers saw the puck on a bit of a loose chance there. One of those Ivers had one defender stick to beat. Great maneuvering of the puck and just gets the better of Antico. 4-1. Zarnecki will head it back out to the neutral zone. Bit of a sloppy pass attempt. There's Nico Walton with the shot. Nico looked like he could have gotten a follow-up opportunity. Good save by Antico as YC clears the zone. Had to get through three defenders. Another one of those shots that almost snuck its way in. A good opportunity there for the Chiefs. YC in possession of the puck, trying to get it around Walsh there, and does. He has one man to beat, but does have a pass if he needs it, and a shot that goes far outside. Tried to set up some rebound opportunity there, but didn't have it on goal for his shot. And now here's Patrick Penny with a flubbed up shot that'll go outside the right post. And in the area is Cusack, who will pass it off, and it's swept up on the defensive side by Alexander Pelt. Back out to the neutral zone. And it looked like it was going to be swept up by Cusack, and one of his teammates helping him there. Good maneuvering around Patrick Penny. Got one player to beat, but gets it sticked at. Walton trying to sweep in the puck there on the opportunity as this goes out. Pelt. Now look at a shovel up, goes high above the crossbar, but still in the area of Alexander Pelt. And that will end this first frame. 4-1, East Islip leading over KPC in what's been a one-sided competition after the first goal from KPC. Coach O'Donnell trying to rally the troops here as they face a 3-goal deficit heading into the second frame. And the Chiefs in the last 5 matchups have gone 3-1-1. Last 3 games, it's been win, tie, win. So in essence, you could say they're facing they're in a 3-1 record, 3-0-1 record in the last couple of matchups, trying to prevent themselves from potentially starting a losing streak in L1. KPC Gold, they have gone 3-2 in their last 5 competitions, 2-1 over the last 3, and only 1 loss for them on 2026, and that was to West Islip at an 11-3 margin. As we resume action here, both sides will swap their respective ends of the sheet. And this will get sent back along the boards as Islip trying to find an opportunity in front. This gets cleared out to the neutral zone, and touching it with his stick there was Schimaliker. Trying to find an opportunity there. Net gets dislodged as Jake Rocco was looking to pass it to a teammate in front of the goal. Quick recap on what we've seen so far. Opening goal was at the 13:09 mark by KPC. Jake Rocco uncontested. Then Nico Walton responding about a minute and a half later, the 11:36 mark. And power play did not matter for East Islip. Couldn't score on it, though they had a man advantage at the 9:30 mark. Scored at 5:09 with Jake Iliano, assisted by Ivers, and then Eli Irizarry scored 223, and then 141, Connor Ivers. What has got us to a 4-1 advantage for the Chiefs over the night. Back out of the Chiefs' end of the rink as this puck gets sent into the neutral zone and picked up quickly by Hayden Lee at first, and then swiped away by James Penny, who is not able to get anything done with the offsides call. KPC still trying to fight for the puck on possession there, and it's finally picked up by the Chief. Trying to go inside. A shot from distance gets fended away. Antico in anticipation of that shot there from distance. Good attempt there by Dennis Geldadig. Back on the other side. In the area there, Goldberg. It gets sent in front. A chance for Irizarry to break it up there as this gets over along the boards. Back out in the neutral zone. 4-1 advantage for the Chiefs over the Knights here. This developmental competition between KPC Gold and East Islip Black. Irizarry has a lone goal in the competition, and he's weaving through several players with some fancy stick work. Trying to get past, got a little bit of a shove there. KPC on a 3-goal disadvantage, trying to capitalize on something here as try to shovel it back for an opportunity, and it gets swept away by Walton. Nico Walton in possession has got one man to beat, looking for some help there, and he does get the pass in front, but not a teammate in sight. Still fighting for the puck there, trying to go along the backside. Finally swept up by Patrick Penny at first, as East Islip tries to clear it out of their own zone. Look outside the blue line, squeaks out several players. We're offside. It looks like we have a delayed penalty coming up, maybe. Maybe not, as the official looked like he had his hand up there. One back out along the neutral zone. KPC trying to get some shot opportunity there as this gets shoved towards the net, and we'll head along the backside. Sepulveda in initial possession. This goes back along the boards. Patrick Penny looking for a teammate to pass to, but may not need it as he had the puck himself, as it does go over the blue line, but is swept up. Fight for it along the boards here, trying to sweep it up in possession for an opportunity. Looking for a shot in between. Is that a goal? Yes, sir. That is. Alexander Pelk has got the first goal of the second period, and it's now 4-2. You can see Pelk fighting for it among two white jerseys. Had to cut there to find the opening, and just snuck right between. Looked like it just snuck on the inside of the right post there, too. A difficult shot as the defenseman cuts the deficit in half. Kieran Cullinan had the puck initially in the neutral zone as this goes back out to the KPC end of the rink. Back on outside the circle. This may be the swing that was needed here for KPC. Back a distant shot there is just swallowed up on the goaltending side by Vigigliata. Back out on the face-off. This gets broken up by one of the bodies of the defenders. And actually, he gets it back in his possession there. Some good physical screening there by Avery Walsh, who's still fighting for it a little bit there as it gets swept up. On the outside of the circle, trying to get past the defender there. Possession here for Remsen. And a couple of bodies break that up, but it's still in possession of KPC, trying to get it back in front. Goaltender was caught off guard there. Vigigliata had to quickly get back down on the shot. That one, another dangerous chance in front. Fortunately, no dark jerseys to take the quick shot. Back in possession, Zarnecki. Zarnecki may have someone to pass to, takes the shot, it goes wide. Mason Zarnecki from the circle fires a shot. This looked like Vigigliata got a piece of it as it goes back out to the neutral zone. And now East Islip may have a chance of their own. 2-on-1 shovel up pass. And there is a whistle. Was that in? They're going to say no, that deflected out of play. I was waiting, couldn't see any of the officials from my vantage point. And this lack of celebration also indicated that, but a great opportunity with that puck going out into the mesh. And the face-off just results in East Islip with another opportunity, looking for a quick shot. This will go high and wide outside. Eli Irizarry looking for his second goal of the game. 8 minutes left to go in the middle frame. Schmaliker, one of several players to clear out that situation, as Antico. So let the puck be. Quick rush here for KPC. Lee. Here's Lee. Looking for a teammate to pass to in front. They score! Lee with a beautiful pass and a great finish by his teammate in front there. That was Owen Neidert to make it 4-3. Lee kept on side with his teammate. Just had to get past the one defender. Found the gap. Looked like he got it between the legs of Schmaliker. And now KPC, they were down 3 goals heading into the second period. They're within 1 to tie it up. When you think about this, KPC varsity team is playing in the semifinals tonight against Hapaj. Around 8 p.m. on the semifinal, several of these players will have the opportunity to make it to the varsity team, with this being the developmental side, showing some great effort here with trying to overcome a 3-goal deficit. Back out to KPC's end of the ice. Several players trying to fight for it here. East Islip is looking for a response of their own on now this 2-goal run. To go along the backside of the net. And it'll just be sent back to the neutral zone. Run along the boards by Zarnecki. Back out in the neutral zone, chance KPC is one man to beat. Had the shot broken up there but still in pursuit of it. Loose in front. Dangerous opportunity. Backdoor. No chance for that to go in. Great goaltending by Vigigliata as it's still loose in front. And back on the other side there trying to fight for it with several dark jerseys. A crazy situation and turn of events with multiple shots there, but Luke Vigigliata stands tall, as do the defenders, as that goes along the back side of the net. Back up from the circle, East Islip trying to get a pass over to the other side there was Sepulveda. Back up from the neutral zone, KPC trying to get back to a tie game as tripped up there. I believe that is going to be a penalty. Jake Rocco was trying to go towards the net. And if that is indeed an East Islip penalty, it is for tripping. Landon Flanagan has just given a man advantage to the Knights of KPC. So we're going to see the first power play of the competition for KPC. Flanagan called for tripping. East Islip with a great opportunity here. Down one. Right on the man advantage on a chance. That was broken up. Good defending there by Charlie Remsen. Doubled over on the other side. We have another whistle. I believe, do we have another penalty? And it looks like we're going to have a 5-on-3 advantage. Another penalty there. They're going to send James Penny to the box. So for a minute 32, another man advantage for interference. James Penny called for interference. KPC, if they don't score on this one, that is great. That would be great defending on the Chiefs' end. And it would also be a wasted opportunity for the Knights as that shot gets fired. Rip on another shot. Somehow that puck did not make its way in. Charlie Remsen with the follow-up attempt. Pretty much at the left post and couldn't find its way in. Minute 15 left on the 5-on-3. Back out, quick fire of a shot. It gets broken up by several defenders. Vigigliata trying to do his part. And they pass off on the other side. Lee from the circle with a shot that goes outside. Looks like Vigigliata got a piece of it again. This will be clear to the zone. 52 seconds left in the 5-on-3 with this reset. Quick rush here, Owen Eidert with the shot. This rattles the framework of the net. Eidert loses the puck. And his teammates there to try to help him clean it up. It stays inside there. Here's Neidert. Neidert trying to go for a shot. It's broken up by a defender. Lee shovels it forward. And back in the area, Avery Walsh trying to break things up again. It's shoveled away by Ivers. That got 17 seconds on the 5-on-3. Shot rocket from a distance. Somewhere it's loose. They score! Luke Vigigliata lost sight of the puck, and it's a tie game with 9 seconds remaining on that 5-on-3. Rocket of a shot there to tie it up there. Owen Neidert unassisted as Vigigliata lost sight of the puck. .39 seconds left on the power play. 5-on-3 is over with that goal. East Islip shoving to forward. Connor Ivers trying to go on a managed short advantage. Great standing tall there by Antico as the puck is still in. Wow, what a sequence from the last couple of minutes, folks. 18 seconds left on the power play. Chances that goes wide of the left post. Final seconds remaining on this power play. East Islip trying to keep it in the other zone so they can get back to a man advantage. And that, I don't know if you can necessarily do. Monteori may have gotten away with one there, even strength on both, though he was retaliating for the shove there, thinking he deserved a penalty as we got a whistle. .243 left to go in this middle frame. A game that was at 4-1 coming into the second period, tied at 4. And they do have a whistle there for a penalty. Luke Monteori will be called for slashing. You'll have 43 seconds left in the period if this power play is not capitalized on. Back out of the neutral zone, KPC trying to take their first lead of the game since scoring the opening goal. Cleared out by one of the East Islip defenders. That has a hop, skip, and a jump. On the other side, they score! Backdoor, no defender there to stop him. And just like that, James DeMundo gets a 5-4 lead for KPC. James DeMundo on the back door with the perfect bounce, snuck it in to go coast to coast. He was on the left post, shot it to the right post. It's 5-4 for the Knights. The Chiefs have not scored a single goal in this second period. Rocco trying to swipe at it there, and now back in possession on the other side. Patrick Penny trying to equalize it. He loses sight of the puck with the fight there. We do have a whistle for the glove being brought down. One of those you wonder in real time if it was potentially a hooking, or as Patrick Penny was trying to rush forward there. .153 remaining in this second period. And a little bit of a stoppage here. I believe there was a penalty called or something going on. Okay, it's a timeout for KPC. We'll actually call a timeout for East Islip. Okay. One of the teams did call a timeout for certain as they try to regroup and reset here, and it was East Islip. They call a timeout here to regroup and reset. They call a timeout because Owen Neidert committed a hooking penalty at 1:53. I thought in real time as that shot goes off, Penny scores on the penalty shot. So that was absolutely right. You wondered in real time if they were going to call a penalty there, and they did, and East Islip takes back the lead. Had a penalty shot as going on net there was Patrick Penny, who got interfered with. They call it hooking and takes the one-on-one. Not much you could do there if you're Antico. Just a great shot from Penny. And it's tied back at 5. East Islip trying to get it back out of their zone and try to take back the lead. That is their first goal in the penalty, as this shot trying to go off and sneak it in between. Lost sight of the puck, didn't know where it went. James Penny was trying to plead his case for a penalty, but nothing doing. Minute 20 left to go in this second period. Trying to weave it around. Neidert with the shot. Almost didn't look like a celebration there, but Neidert did score. KPC takes back the lead, was waiting for a celebration there, and didn't even really celebrate with his team, at least on camera there, just went back, and it's 6-5 KPC. Neidert, after being called for the hooking penalty, managed to make up for it 43 seconds afterwards. And it's now 6-5. East Islip scoring 1 goal on a penalty shot. Back on the other end of the ice, about 40 seconds left to go before we get to the third period. Trying to shovel for it there along the boards. East Islip trying to find some opportunity there, but it gets swept up. Good interception as this heads back to the other end of the rink. Back on the right circle. Back out, Walsh in possession. Gets it back over the blue line to force a reset. Quick pursuit of the puck, a 2-on-1 as this gets bounced back. Shot from distance, tried to catch the goaltender off guard, but Antico was all over it. And a whistle for an offside. I believe they called a whistle maybe at the end of the period, or maybe a fraction of a second left on the clock. And I believe they're calling a penalty that's going to go into the third. Yes, VC is going to head to the box for KPC. East Islip is going to power the competition. Only about 1 second left to go here in the second period, so certainly unless some miracle happens, we're going to start the third with man advantage. And that's going to do it. 4-1 at the end of the first. A 5-1 scoring run for KPC over East Islip to take back the lead 6-5. We got an exciting third period coming up here, folks. Exactly which, I'm sure Ryan's going to give me clarification on which exact city all this great action is happening from here on this ice rink, as the SCHSHL looks very bright in terms of the quick breakaways and the opportunities these players have gotten so far in the night. The rinks in Hauppauge, New York. A little bit of a hop, skip, and a jump from Long Island, I'm sure. As we get into the third frame, starting off with the power play here, as it's a man advantage for East Islip, as this will get cleared easily by KPC. East Islip only having one other power play opportunity at the beginning of the game, and not able to capitalize on it. Again, coming into the game, they were about 83.3% on their power play conversions. They're trying to make that happen here with that pass that plugged away in the area of Patrick Penny. It's back up. Penny trying to pass it in front. Just gets too powerful from the circle. This one gets broken up. Back out to the other side. A swarm. You would not believe that there's a man disadvantage here for KPC with the way they're attacking the puck on this power play. Back out on the other side, this gets passed away Connor Ivers. Trying to find an opportunity, and it gets picked up by Hayden Lee. 40 seconds left on the man advantage. Back out inside the circle. Got it through several defenders, tried to get it on net there, but James Penny did not have an opportunity as that rattles the framework of the rink guards. I know that's not what they're called, but in terms of those guarding the ice itself. Back along the boards, this gets passed off into the neutral zone. 13 seconds left to go on the power play. And that's what you like to see if you're the defense here at KPC or the coaching staff, just wasting time along the board to crush the seconds. As back to a man advantage, KPC 2-0 on their power play defense so far in the contest. This heads back outside the circle, keeping it in KPC, trying to keep the advantage on, but they have to reset the back out to the neutral zone. This does get passed off. Has his back in possession of Connor Ivers. Ivers has a quick burst of speed. Ivers couldn't get it past the final competitor as this gets swept up. Here's Zarnecki. He has two players to beat. Zarnecki may be someone to pass it to if he could get the angle. He does pass it off, but it does get broken up by the defensive line of the Chiefs. Back out in the neutral zone. This is back to Irizarry. Irizarry from the right circle had a teammate in the area to pass to, but it gets sent away and swept up by the defense. Maybe got off of the skate there, one of the players. Landon Flanagan got the puck off of his skate there and tripped up. Back inside the blue line on the other end, gets cleaned up there, Flanagan. East Islip trying to capitalize. Back out of the neutral zone, gets bounced along the board. Trying to fight for it there is Connor Ivers. Ivers looking for a shot, and that almost could have snuck its way in on the left post. Fortunately, a defender there to handle its trajectory. Shoved back. That's Sepulveda. This goes back around. Back 11 minutes left to go here. Zarnecki, who just clears it in for a line change to occur as Flanagan mishandles the puck for a split second and then passes it off. This gets bounced along the board. Then back out. Sepulveda shovels it forward. Back out Zarnecki. Then goes back out. Neutral zone again. KPC trying to set an opportunity up, and they do have one. Here's a chance, a shot that doesn't get as much power as Goldberg may have wanted. Goes wide of the post. In pursuit, Cusack, as this gets touched inside of the blue line. Looking for it here. Trying to get a deflection. They score! Jaduldig managed to get a shot off from the corner, had an assist with one of his teammates there, and it's a good goal, and East Islip has its first lead. That's its first lead change. A good shot there from the corner, Irizarry, and then assisted by Cusack, and it's tied. So another lead change is pending. East Islip, this is the second time that they've tied the competition and have not been able to take back the lead, as a whistle there for offsides. As Cusack can't believe it. Irizarry credited for that goal. It looks like they got Vigliotta credited on the assist on that one officially. And it's now 6-0. The shot, score! A quick strike and response from KPC. That's Snyder with the goal, and it's now 7-6. Sweeps it up there from the blue line. No worry about a teammate staying onside or not. just shoots it himself from just inside the circle, and it's one of those times catches Vigliotta off guard. 7-6. Anytime East Islip has looked like they're fighting back, it's been KPC bouncing right back. One gets shoveled. Head back the other way. Back out into the neutral zone. This gets back around in the area there for East Islip with James Penny. Here's Penny back through the neutral zone. Penny shoveled back, but no teammate to clean it up there. Almost got taken by Irizarry, which would have been dangerous given his position. Irizarry not able to get the puck. Several white jerseys get around. Irizarry with a shot and a great save by Antico. Jake Antico with a good save to prevent it from being a tie game yet again. 9:05 remaining in the third. Back out from the neutral zone. KPC trying to get it forward. This on the right side for Weissy. Weissy trying to get a shot on net. Goes Pelk with the shot. That goes high in the area of Weissy, but did not have the positioning to take a shot. This goes back down the other way. Connor Ivers trying to get the puck, gets poked away. Back James Penny gets it around. James Penny trying to get a follow through, and that goes along the board. Back looking through traffic, wove it around several defenders, looking for either a pass or a shot angle. Couldn't get it through traffic, but Connor Ivers made it look easy for a moment. Back along the boards. The Chiefs keep it in the zone. No one there to help clean it up, so KPC is going to clear their zone and take it back down. Zarnecki. Here's Zarnecki. Trying to weave it around. Zarnecki with a shot that may have gotten off the pads of Vigliotta. Back up for a fight along the boards again. There's Zarnecki. Zarnecki looking, he rattles it off. Did that make its way in? It hit the post. Looked like it may have gotten inside for a bit. Not enough to get over the line. What a shot. Go back along in possession for Flanagan. He'll bounce it back out. But KPC keeping it in the zone. And it looks like they're going to rule that went out of play. .7:13 remaining in regulation. Reminder that this matchup can end in a tie, as East Islip did tie 5-5 with Longwood's Developmental Green team on the 19th. It is possible this game ends at the end of regulation, which neither team really wants in the grand scheme of things. And with the way this game is going back and forth, I highly doubt that we're going to get a tie at the end of regulation. Fighting for it there. Sepulveda. Sepulveda with the shovel over in the area. Looking for it there is Flanagan trying to fight for it with Rocco along the board. Got a teammate trying to clean him up there. As this almost finds its way in. Good maneuvering there by Vigliotta. A reminder that if it is still tied at the end of regulation, you have 4 minutes of overtime, and then it goes to a tie if nothing's decided, as that's a dangerous opportunity in front. Could have been another goal for KPC to take a 2-goal lead. Iliano. One back out. KPC trying to get through several bodies there, but not enough players to get around. This will go back out to the other end of the ice, and we'll get Possessed over by Lee. And Lee trying to weave it around. Lee back out to the neutral zone. Lee got past the defender, has several to pass to, but couldn't get it between the legs of Sepulveda. Sepulveda in possession now, gets it past two defenders, gets it past three. Sepulveda couldn't get the last bit of maneuvering there and loses the puck as this goes back out to center ice. And we do have a whistle as Irizarry was possessing the puck initially. I believe we may have a penalty coming up here or some sort of safety stoppage. But yes, we do have a penalty coming, so looks like headed to the box, Sepulveda, and we got a power play coming up here for KPC. Power play advantage here. I believe maybe incidental minors. Or no, it is slashing. They're going to call slashing on KPC, so we do have a power play. We do have a power play listed, but at least at the 5:28 mark. But you also have Sepulveda called for roughing, so they're canceling out on incidentals, but they're still counted as a penalty on the score sheet. So full strength for both as those players just get to sit in the box for a little bit as James Penny looks for an opportunity, and this gets clamped down by Jack Antego. Under 5 left to go in the third period, 7-6. The Knights lead over the Chiefs in this developmental competition for SCHSHL high school hockey. Very fitting that in the backdrop of the goal you see here, there's a banner showing the evolution of a hockey player. You're seeing one of those phases here play out on the ice. Nico Walton will go in pursuit of the puck, had to fend that off, or I believe that was Goldberg pursuing it. As this gets around the circle. Connor Ivers and East Islip trying to find the equalizer again. Here's Ivers. Looking for someone to pass to in front, and a good save there by Antico off of his pads, but the danger's not over. As this gets shoveled backwards, they score! Connor Ivers with the backward shovel, and it's 7-7 with just over 4 left to go in regulation. Good pass and deflection, a great save there by Antico. As this goes out to the circle, and a good pass off. Ends up in the possession and got through the screen. Not much for Antico to do. And Connor Ivers has a goal in the third. That's his second goal of the game. He does have an assist recorded as well. As you've got the celebration here, and you've got KPC. Doesn't even take more than a couple seconds for them to respond, as it is an onside there. You see Broxmeyer on the backside if he needs a pass, and trying to clear it out there. This gets sent in again. Pelk on the follow-up. It was initially a good save by Vigileata, and it's now 8-7. You take 1 minute to look at the game sheet, folks, and you miss a goal. That's why it's important to make sure you look at the action the entire time. 4:10, the goal from Ivers. 3:57, the goal from Pelk, with Neidert on the assist. 13 seconds is all it took. Now, can East Islip respond again, as they've done several times with finding the equalizer? Or can KPC get a 2-goal advantage? Owen Neidert with a shot goes wide of the post. Just outside the circle, Neidert with the pass off, looking for a shot attempt from the right circle. Couldn't get it strong enough. Here goes Irizarry. He had a lone goal earlier in the competition, as he'll just settle for passing it towards the boards. as this gets sent back the other way. But Dennis Geduldig, it was in the area, didn't pursue the puck as fast as he could have, but here's Irizarry with a shot as that goes very wide of the post. Back out to the neutral zone, trying to shut it down. This will head all the way down for an icing. Good opportunity coming up here for the Chiefs at 2:38 left to go in regulation. And we have a timeout here as anticipated. East Islip will try to think things over. And I know it's a developmental game. You have the goaltender coming over to hear from the coach as well. You wonder if they're going to tell Vigigliata to stay on the bench. Several other games coming up here tonight. You got St. Anthony and Northport already in progress right now. You got Ward Melville and Smithtown coming up 7:30 Eastern, as well as KPC and Smithtown on the varsity side in the postseason. Then at 9 p.m., you got Northport and Longwood JV, and then varsity playoff between Northport and St. Anthony. All these games, you can catch them here on the LI Sports Network. Busy crew tonight. Busy YouTube channel as well. 8-7, 2:38 left to go here in the third. East Islip trying to find the equalizer here, as this will go along the back side of the net. This gets shoveled past the neutral zone, and they still have a goaltender in net. Wonder when they'll pull him, if at all. This is back James Penny. Now possession to Connor Ivers. Back out in the neutral zone. They go up for a pass. Go back along near the trapezoid as this gets pulled along the boards. Rocco among several players to try and clear it out there. And still along the backside of the net. Minute 50. This gets sent down the ice, and a stick gets lost in the commotion there to prevent it from going any further as Avery Walsh tried to do something with the puck there. Rocco send it into the zone. And back out to Ivers. 90 seconds left in regulation. East Islip trying to find the equalizer. Do they pull the goaltender, or do they just stick with 5 here? Along the backside, looking for a pass. Nobody there on the other post to crash. Back outside the blue line and trying to weave through there on an opportunity. And there is an empty net now. Minute 10 left to go here in regulation. And no penalty called there, as you thought maybe with the collision there and the breakaway it could happen. But now going for the shot on distance, this will go wide of the post, and it's called for icing. 56 seconds. And it'll head back to the other end of the rink. Golden opportunity here. .56 seconds, man advantage for East Islip. Win the faceoff, going here. Irizarry trying for a shot. Good save there by Antico. Another chance. Scramble in front of the puck somehow gets cleared out. Here's another shot from distance and a good save by Antico. Connor Ivers, too weak of a shot on the attempt there. Maybe if it was more of a rocket, you could get a follow-up attempt there, as Irizarry does get a good shot there, and great reaction by Antico. Trying to get another follow-up shot there, Patrick Penny. And Jack Antico trying to do his part. Getting to the final 30 seconds here in regulation. East Islip. This will have to go back outside the blue line, trying to shove it in, and it is called for offside. And actually, in the grand scheme of things, it benefits East Islip, because if they had tried to hold on to it there, could have just been going the other way. Trying to fight for it on the faceoff here. That's James Penny trying to go for it. Puck squeaks loose. Here goes Irizarry. 13 seconds, maybe one last chance for a quick burst. They have to quickly get it down the ice, but Irizarry with the pass. It gets swept up. This gets sent away, and KPC is going to score on an empty netter, and that'll be 9-7. Looks like that will be the final score. Final goal scored there by Charlie Remsen, maybe a second or two on the clock. That is going to be final. KPC gets a 2-goal win against East Islip after being down 4-1 at the start of the second period. They come back, and after having 2 ties throughout the competition, they win it in a 2-goal difference. Great game altogether for the two teams. They have their handshakes coming up here, these developmental teams. And that leaves us next. Ward Melville and Smithtown on their junior varsity teams coming up here on the LI Sports Network. For our producer, Ryan Brannigan, all the hardworking men and women that make this run so smoothly, I'm Spencer Topset saying so long from Hauppauge, New York, as KPC, the Knights, get it done over the East Islip Chiefs.